Hi everyone, and welcome to the IHSA Summer Clinic 2020. This presentation was previously presented in Peoria at the convention in July of 2017, is on baseball, and is titled The Three-Tiered System Leading to Coach Ejection. I'm Brad SALLEY, the presenter, and you can read my vitae below. In the July 2017 Referee magazine, an article outlined the 5 maxims of communication which form the basis of conflict resolution, part of all of our clinics. The question was, during an argument about a call you made, can you talk with a coach in a rational manner? And the way to do that is to consider the 5 maxims. First, listen to the players or coaches with all of your senses all the way through to the end. Make sure you observe while you listen. This will allow you to form a response. Then, when appropriate, ask. And ask is underlined. Don't tell the players or coaches to do something. After that, explain and set the context of the call you made. Give the players and coaches options rather than threats or ultimatums. And then, when appropriate, give the players and or coaches a second chance. The question at the end of it is, do you have the ability to talk a coach out of an ejection and still maintain control of the game? Consider yourself warned is the title of this slide, and that was the title of an article in the preseason baseball flyer that came out in January of 2017, which talked about the 3-tiered system. The 3 tiers are 1, verbal warning, voice warning only. Make it clear to the coach that this is your warning, and the next move is to restriction. That would be restriction on the bench. The next tier is a written warning, written on your lineup card, and then you restrict the coach to the dugout. And then the third tier is an ejection. The reasoning behind the 3 tiers is, rather than go right to the ejection, this is a way to keep the coach in the game and possibly avoid a forfeit, especially if you are umpiring a game or games in which you have small schools and there's only one coach there. The written warning on the lineup card needs to detail the specifics of the actions of the coach. You may need to use this for going to the ejection later on and or for reporting to the IHSA. The question is, how much will you take? And all of us are different. Every one of us has a different breaking point, so to speak, in what we will take before we move into any action on any one of those 3 tiers. Some of us will take a lot, some of us will take less, and some of us will not take anything. And the question then is, where do you fit with the above? Okay, what I did in July of 2017 was I took a survey of people I worked with. And I want to share their thoughts with you as we go through these next slides, and each umpire is on a slide and what he has done or did or would do regarding the 3-tiered system. I want to let you know that at least a half a dozen of these umpires on this survey are state final umpires, and I also took a survey of the Rock River Officials Association as well. So let's take a look at the survey. Paul R. will just eject the coach. Ben C., pretty easy. I'll look for any foul language once. It's to the bench. Twice, it's time for the coach to go. I understand the rule, but if it gets to the point of putting the coach on the bench, I will just eject him. Mike D., I'll probably just go to the ejection. Steve, I like the intent of the rule, but I would only use it if I might be wrong on a rule or ruling. Otherwise, I'll just eject the coach. Monte M, in the past 11 years, I have not had any problems with a coach. I will probably try and follow what they want us to do. Gary B., I'll just confine the coach to the bus. Why give the coach 3 chances? Ben, good intentions, but I'll probably just eject the coach. Roy, it's a good idea, but I feel that few umpires are using it. David, I have not had a chance to use the rule yet. I would use it if I had to keep the coach in the game. Rick, I like the idea of keeping the coach in the game. I wonder, though, if I confine the coach to the bench, if he will make it to the end of the game. Jerry, it seems like it is similar to basketball. In basketball, we give the coach a warning. After that, the coach gets a tee. Then the coach gets a second tee, which is an ejection. So it seems like it's just like basketball. Here are different people from the Rock River Officials Association, and you can read their comments there. Continuing with the association. Lee, when I walk on the field, I notice how many coaches each team has. If they have one coach, such as a small school, I will likely use the restriction rule. If they have more than one coach, I may just bypass and go to ejection. Carl, I figure that I will end up just going with the ejection. If I attempt to put the coach on the bench, I can't believe that he is going to get from me to the bench before he says or does something to get ejected anyway. Alan says if the coach does or says anything that most umpires would consider a reason to put him on the bench, I'll just eject him. Scott, bottom line, I would use it if the coach forces me to, but in reality, if it gets to that point, I guess he needs to go. Wrap-ups. So as you can see, about one umpire in the 30 that I surveyed used the rule. But just a reminder that you don't have to follow the 3 steps in order. You may just eject the coach without any of the other 2 steps, without the verbal warning or without the confinement to the bench, if the offense is so severe that it warrants an ejection. The assistant coach is also subject to the 3-tier warning system. If you restrict the assistant coach, you may also need to restrict the head coach. Read the case plays and the plays in the preseason guide for interpretations of this. And here are some following plays, but now remember, these are from the 2017 rule books and case books. So in closing, did you identify with any of the thoughts of your umpire colleagues in the slides? And then at that time, we had a few minutes to share all of our thoughts on the new rule.